This is the story of a young lady who is in love with a man who happens to be an ex-convict. However, her father wants her to marry someone else. Who do you think she will end up with? Don't just guess. Follow me as I take you on this amazing journey. If this is your first time visiting this channel, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. The story begins with a 100-level law student named Zara. One morning, as she was heading to her hostel, two men attacked her, trying to steal her bag. Thankfully, a 400-level student named KD arrived just in time, scaring the men away. KD insisted on walking Zara to her room. Once there, they got to know each other, and KD jokingly told her that if anyone ever tried to harm her, she should tell them she is his wife. This surprised Zara, and he left. The next morning, Zara was shocked to see KD waiting for her outside. Angry, she asked if he was stalking her. KD denied it, but Zara quoted a proverb, "Show me your friend, and I will tell you who you are." This made KD realize that Zara was avoiding him because of the kind of friends he kept. She walked away, but KD followed her. Later that day, Zara's friend was in their room when KD knocked and entered. Surprised, her friend got scared and ran out. KD, however, left the flowers he had brought for Zara and lay down on her bed. When Zara returned, she was furious to find KD in her room. KD confessed his feelings for her, saying he had fallen deeply in love with her. Zara rejected him, pointing out that he surrounded himself with bad friends. KD handed her the flowers, but when she realized they were artificial, she threw them on the floor. She told him she couldn't be with someone who smokes and drinks. KD, who was smoking at the time, immediately put out his cigarette and promised to quit if that's what she wanted. Despite his promise, Zara insisted that she didn't want him, and he left. Surprisingly, a few months later, Zara and KD started dating. Their relationship blossomed, and KD even stopped smoking. One day, KD wanted to take Zara out and borrowed a car from a friend. However, the friend complained that KD had been neglecting them since he fell in love with Zara. KD made it clear that nothing could separate him from Zara. They took the car, and KD drove off to pick Zara up. Meanwhile, Zara was getting ready in her hostel when her friend warned her about KD, saying he wasn't a good guy. Zara defended him, saying he had changed. That night, while KD was driving back from their outing, he was stopped by the police. They asked for his license, but KD, knowing he wasn't the car owner, tried to plead with them. The police insisted on searching the car and found hard drugs in the trunk. KD tried to explain that the drugs weren't his, but the police didn't believe him. They asked him to step out of the car, but KD refused. An argument ensued, and in a scuffle, KD accidentally shot one of the officers. Panicking, he tried to explain it was self-defense, but he was arrested and jailed. When Zara heard what had happened, she went to visit KD in tears. KD truthfully explained that it was a mistake. The officer was about to shoot him, and he had acted in self-defense. He also insisted the drugs weren't his. He begged Zara to help him, and she promised to speak with her father, a well-known lawyer. The next day, Zara pleaded with her father to help KD. Her father, however, was furious, calling KD a murderer and told her to leave his presence. Heartbroken, Zara left in tears. Later, Zara's friend visited her, trying to console her and advising her to let the matter go. But Zara refused, saying that KD had no one else and she couldn't abandon him. She cried bitterly over the situation. The following day, Zara went to see KD in jail. She found him badly beaten by the police, and the sight made her cry. KD reassured her that they would find a way out of the situation. He then revealed to her that the reason he kept failing his courses wasn't because he was unintelligent, but because he didn't want to graduate and be separated from her. After their conversation, the police officer came and dragged KD out of the cell like an animal, while Zara wept bitterly. The next day, Zara's father came to her hostel, furious that she had gone to see KD. He shouted at her, warning that if she visited KD again, he would disown her. He demanded that she pack her things immediately because she would be moving back home, where he could keep a closer eye on her. Zara pleaded with him, but he was resolute. Fast forward several years, Zara had completed her studies and was now a barrister. Her friend visited her, and they talked about Tony, Zara's fiancé. Her friend tried to convince Zara that Tony loved her, but Zara admitted she was only in a relationship with him because of her father's insistence. Later that day, Tony went to Zara's father's house. Zara, just returning from work, was surprised to see him there. She asked why he hadn't informed her of his visit. Tony explained that her father had invited him for dinner. Upset, Zara argued with him, saying their relationship wasn't working and accusing him of not loving her because he hadn't proposed. In response, Tony pulled out a ring and placed it on her finger, which only made her angrier. She stormed off, leaving him behind. At dinner, her father was delighted that Tony had proposed and immediately suggested a wedding date in December, just 2 months away. Zara protested, saying she would be too busy, but her father ignored her objections. Frustrated, she left the room. Later, Tony approached Zara, complaining about her behavior earlier. They argued again, but Tony eventually apologized, claiming he loved her. Zara accepted his apology, but when he tried to kiss her, she stopped him, reminding him they had agreed not to engage in anything romantic. Tony became angry and walked out despite Zara's attempts to calm him. That night, Tony called his real girlfriend. Yes, Tony had another girlfriend. He told her he missed her, and she told him she was on set and he could wait for her at her house. They ended the call by saying, "I love you." Later, when Tony's girlfriend returned home, she was upset with him for being with Zara. Tony reassured her, explaining that he was only with Zara because of his father. His girlfriend, frustrated, yelled at him, saying he didn't need Zara or her family, leaving Tony feeling cornered. The next day, Zara was in her office preparing for court when KD walked in, surprising her. He expressed disappointment that she had stopped visiting him. Zara explained that if she had the chance, she would have continued. She then asked when he was released from prison, and he replied that it had been a year. Zara was shocked. KD explained that he had wanted to get his life in order before coming to see her. He then suggested they pick up where they left off, but Zara showed him her engagement ring, saying she was engaged. KD told her he didn't care and left his contact information with her before leaving. The following day, KD delivered his artwork to a client who turned out to be Tony's girlfriend. While KD was there, Tony arrived, and his girlfriend quickly asked KD to leave. After KD left, Tony angrily told his girlfriend to delete a social media post she had made about their relationship, reminding her he was engaged to Zara. His girlfriend was shocked and furious, demanding that he leave, which he did. Later, Zara came out of a meeting and ran into KD again. She asked if he was stalking her, but KD explained that he was there to support the wife of the policeman involved in his case. Zara was proud of him and his efforts to make amends. KD asked why she hadn't called him, but Zara reminded him that she was engaged and told him to move on before walking away. The next day, Zara entered her office and found a flower bouquet KD had left for her. Shortly afterward, Tony arrived with a gift and noticed the flowers. Zara lied, saying she had bought them for her employees. Tony then asked if he could take her out that evening, and Zara reluctantly agreed before he left. Meanwhile, Zara had promised KD that she would visit him, but she never showed up. KD waited for her at his apartment, only to be disappointed. Instead, Zara spent the evening with Tony, and they enjoyed themselves. Tony decided to go upstairs to take a bath, leaving Zara alone for a moment. While he was gone, KD called, expressing his disappointment that she hadn't shown up. Zara, annoyed, warned him not to disturb her anymore, saying she had no business with him. Just as she ended the call, Tony came downstairs, and she quickly composed herself. The next day, Zara had a serious conversation with her father, telling him that she didn't like Tony. Her father, feeling hurt and angry, promised her he would never make a decision that would harm her happiness. Touched by his words, Zara decided to give her relationship with Tony another chance and promised herself to make it work. That same day, Zara was at Tony's house when a package arrived for her. However, she was upstairs at the time, so Tony called her. Before she came downstairs, Tony opened the envelope and was shocked to find a picture of himself with his girlfriend. Panicking, he quickly hid the photo. When Zara came down, he lied, saying the package was for him. Though Tony was clearly nervous, Zara didn't suspect anything. Meanwhile, at KD's house, KD was deeply heartbroken, constantly thinking about Zara. His friend came by to console him. KD admitted that he couldn't get Zara out of his mind. He also revealed that the woman he had been helping, the widow of the policeman he accidentally killed, had no idea that he was responsible for her husband's death. KD's friend encouraged him to let go of both Zara and the past, but KD struggled with the idea. What do you all think? Can KD truly forget Zara? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. The next day, Zara began searching for her wedding dress online with Tony. Her father saw them together and was overjoyed, thinking everything was falling into place. That same day, KD visited the widow of the policeman to check on her. She thanked him for all his help, and although KD wanted to confess the truth about her husband's death, he couldn't bring himself to do it. Later, Zara's friend visited her at the office and reminded her that Tony's birthday was coming up. Zara had completely forgotten. Her friend suggested ideas for a celebration, but Zara didn't like any of them. After her friend left, Zara finally called someone to order a cake for Tony. Unfortunately, Tony's girlfriend had already planned a surprise celebration for him, and he was thrilled, ignoring Zara's calls. Zara, who had also planned a surprise for him, waited for hours, but Tony never showed up. Frustrated, Zara received a call from KD, which made her even angrier. She went straight to KD's house to warn him to stop calling her. They argued, and in the heat of the moment, KD asked if she still loved him. Zara confessed that she did, and they ended up in a romantic encounter. The next morning, Zara woke up in KD's bed. Horrified, she quickly got up and started gathering her things. KD woke up and asked if she wasn't even going to say goodbye. Zara, upset, told him that what happened was a mistake because she was engaged. KD tried to tell her that Tony was cheating on her, but she didn't believe him and left. When Zara got home, she found Tony waiting for her. He lied, saying he had been at home but didn't see her. Zara, irritated, told him that she had gone back to work after waiting for him. She then went upstairs to shower, avoiding further confrontation. A few days later, Zara began feeling unwell. Her friend encouraged her to visit the hospital, but Zara decided to take a pregnancy test instead. To her shock, the test was positive. She was pregnant. Wow, this is unexpected. What do you all think? Will Zara proceed with the wedding, or will she call it off? Let's find out. The next day, Zara was at home when her friend, Fio, visited her. Fio mentioned that Tony was preparing a surprise wedding gift, but Zara didn't seem excited. Sensing something was wrong, Fio asked if Zara had visited the doctor. Zara confessed that she was pregnant. Overjoyed, Fio congratulated her, but her excitement turned to shock when Zara admitted the baby was KD's. Fio, surprised, reminded Zara that KD was still in prison. Zara then revealed that KD had been released, which made Fio even more upset. Zara tried to explain that KD was the only man she had ever truly loved, but Fio remained silent, clearly processing the revelation. The next day, Fio went to meet with an artist booked for Zara's wedding. Unknown to her, the artist was KD. When she arrived and realized who he was, she confronted him about getting Zara pregnant. KD was surprised but also happy to hear the news. He asked Fio why Zara was still going ahead with the marriage if she was carrying his child. Fio replied, "What is she supposed to do?" KD then declared that he wouldn't let Zara marry Tony because he knew Tony was a cheat and a liar. At first, Fio didn't believe him. KD then showed her pictures of Tony with his real girlfriend, along with evidence of his double life. Shocked, Fio admitted that Zara's wedding was only a week away. She urged KD to fight for Zara if he truly loved her. This is where emotions run high, and things take a dramatic turn. It was Zara and Tony's wedding day, and everything seemed to be going as planned. The moment came when the pastor asked if anyone had any reason why the two should not be married. Suddenly, KD stood up and declared, "I do." He told everyone present that Zara was his wife and that she was pregnant with his child. The room fell into shocked silence as everyone processed what had just happened. Zara, overwhelmed with emotions, shouted at KD, asking why he had come to disrupt the ceremony. She then ran out of the hall. KD, along with Fio, chased after her. KD eventually caught up with her and confessed his love. He said, "If you don't love me, I will spend the rest of my life regretting that I lost you. But if you give me a chance, I promise to make you the happiest woman in the world." Zara, in tears, held him tightly and admitted, "I need you." The two embraced, crying, as Fio stood nearby, also in tears. Meanwhile, inside the wedding hall, Tony stood there full of regret. His girlfriend approached him, mocking him and calling him a cheat. Moments later, Zara's father confronted Tony, furious that he had been cheating on his daughter. In his anger, Zara's father slapped Tony and demanded that he leave immediately. Tony apologized and walked away in disgrace. The next day, KD had a meeting with Zara's father. After thinking things over, her father decided to give KD his blessings. He even promised to support KD's business so he could take good care of Zara. KD expressed his heartfelt gratitude, and the two men ended the meeting on a happy note. As for Tony went to his girlfriend's house to plead with her, but she refused to give him another chance. She asked him to leave her house, and he left in tears, realizing the consequences of his actions. Zara and KD went on to live happily ever after. Their love grew stronger with each passing day, and their bond became unbreakable. Thank you for watching this amazing story, guys. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel for more captivating tales. See you in our next movie.